The scene began as a spaceship was chased by some spaceships. They attacked it, and the pilot gave everything, with the pursuers screaming that they couldn't even stop a single ship. The pursuers chased the rocket as the chasers said they had to do everything to chase it down. They attacked it with countless missiles, and the ship got damaged. But the pilot said that she wouldn't give up as she accelerated to the portal and disappeared. The scene shifted to a regular school where a boy was peeking down at a girl. He was mesmerized by her, thinking now was the time that he should confess to Haruna. One of his friends patted him from behind, and he got scared, asking Yuki what he was doing. Sakurayama said that his reaction was even scarier. Hearing all this, the classmates and Haruna saw everything as Sakurayama accused MC of staring at Haruna, but Yuki denied it, asserting he was merely observing. Considering the timing, he had decided to confess his feelings to Haruna. The scene transitioned, and Yuki recollected his first encounter with Haru, short for Spring with Na from Nano the Blossom, during his second year of junior high. Despite harboring feelings for her, he faced repeated disruptions, such as being confronted by an elephant horde. He believed that this day marked the end of those hindrances, finally allowing him to confess his longtime admiration for her. In the school garden, an incident unfolded where someone destroyed it, leading to gossip among students. Yuki, discovering a shovel, picked it up after a girl ran away. The rumors soon escalated, falsely accusing Yuki of a terrible deed. Yuki, holding the shovel, feared that both the teacher and the entire class suspected him, unaware that the accusations were baseless. Descending the stairs, one of Haruna's friends inquired about Yuki, and she expressed her desire to believe in him. Yuki reflected on her as the one who stood out, realizing he had unmistakably fallen in love with her back then. The teacher called them, and Yuki pondered on the significance of those words and how they saved her. As Haruna approached from behind, Yuki thought that he would confess to her that day. As he was about to confess, he got embarrassed as Haruna walked through him. He was shocked and moved back to call her. Someone shouted to watch out as the spaceship crashed into the school ground in front of Yuki. He screamed that it really was impossible. Upon arriving home, Yuki's sister informed him that their dad mentioned he would be home late again. Yuki collapsed onto the bed, and Sarayama took the opportunity to tell him that he had screwed up after all, provoking anger in Yuki. Sarayama remarked that it was always like this, highlighting that Yuki usually acted tough but struggled when it came to romance. Even the mere display of pictures of girls in swimsuits could make him faint. Despite the embarrassment, Yuki declared that it had been a long time, and he was determined to make a move. Sarayama suggested visualizing Haruna in a swimsuit, and as Yuki envisioned it, his brain became overloaded. Sarayama laughed, stating that Yuki hadn't changed at all and needed to build up his immunity to women before attempting any confessions. While Yuki was taking a bath, he reflected on the fact that he didn't currently have a girlfriend but still spoke freely about whatever he liked. Despite having a valid point, he acknowledged that he never got close to any female friends and hadn't engaged in conversations with them. Essentially, his primary source of joy in life was playing games until he encountered Haruna. As he pictured her in a swimsuit, he became excessively embarrassed and contemplated the necessity of developing immunity to interactions with women. During this contemplation, a sudden event unfolded as a light crashed into his bath, emitting a massive glow. Yuki found himself entangled in a pervert incident with a girl sporting pink hair. Witnessing the girl naked, Yuki fainted, and the scene shifted as Yuki's sister entered to provide assistance. Yuki crawled through and urgently informed her that there was a naked woman in the bath. In response, she asked where the woman was. Seeing nothing, Yuki insisted that she had just been there and asked his sister to believe in him. Yuki's sister, feeling embarrassed, pointed out that he was around that age and should at least know the difference between delusions and reality. Despite the explanation, Yuki's sister remained unconvinced. As Yuki finished his bath and headed to his room, he was astonished to discover the girl casually sitting on his bed, mentioning that she borrowed his towel. Completely taken aback, Yuki closed his eyes in disbelief. The girl then nonchalantly revealed her origin from the planet Deviluk, leading Yuki to inquire if she was an alien. Confirming his guess, she acknowledged the Earthling perspective and encouraged him to believe her, suggesting he examine her tail for proof. Displaying her tail, Yuki was so stunned that he remained silent for a moment. She clarified that having a tail didn't mean she transformed under a full moon, prompting an embarrassed Yuki to ask her to conceal it. Intrigued by her sudden appearance in his bath, Yuki questioned her motives. She explained her use of the hoping warp she created, clarifying that while she couldn't precisely control the landing location, it allowed a living being to warp a short distance. In this instance, she used it in her spaceship, coincidentally ending up in his bath. When Yuki asked why she chose his location, she disclosed that she was being pursued. Her pursuers damaged her ship, and she used the warp to escape to Earth, narrowly avoiding capture. Surprised by her presence, Yuki struggled to maintain composure and suggested she put on some clothes. Introducing her peculiar creature companion, Peak, The girl expressed relief that it had successfully escaped. Peek, curious about Yuki, questioned his identity, leading the girl to realize she hadn't asked for his name. Yuki then introduced himself as Rito Yuki, and the girl explained that Peek was a versatile costume robot she had created. Much to Yuki's excitement, Peek dressed the girl in a unique costume. As Peek questioned the girl's intentions, she hinted at having an idea. Suddenly, two individuals appeared, criticizing the girl as troublesome and suggesting restrictions on her freedom. Lala scolded Peek for failing to ensure that no one followed her. Recognizing them as the pursuers, Yuki expressed concern about their strength. In an attempt to restrain the girl, Yuki intervened by throwing a football at one of the men's faces and fled with the girl across the rooftops. Yuki, uncertain about the situation, decided he couldn't sit idly by while a girl was about to be kidnapped. On the way, Haruna witnessed Yuki walking through the ceilings. One of the pursuers threw a truck to block their path, and Yuki found himself trapped. Despite the odds, he resolved not to let the kidnapping happen. A blinding light emitted, revealing a huge spaceship and an individual named Zaston in the sky. Zaston ordered Yuki to step aside, but Yuki, although scared, stood his ground. Zaston declared that Lala, the girl, was running away from home, a revelation that surprised Yuki. Lala insisted that she had had enough of marriage interviews arranged by her father. As the confrontation escalated, Lala summoned a massive robot, causing one of the pursuers to label it as one of her inventions. A peculiar octopus vacuum device sucked them all in, including Yuki. In the chaos, Yuki realized everything, including trees, was being sucked in, and he screamed that it was bad. The next day, Yuki walked through the school, reflecting on the troublesome events, and wished he had never helped Lala. As Yuki thought about the rescue, Lala approached and thanked him, admitting that she forgot how to use the invention. Yuki, wanting to avoid involvement, wished he hadn't helped her. Haruna greeted Yuki, and just as he thought he could confess his feelings, Lala appeared, expressing similar sentiments. She suddenly hugged Yuki, declaring their engagement and plans to get married. Yuki, caught off guard, wondered why this sudden development had occurred. The scene shifts as Yuki is in bed sleeping. As he moves sideways, he wakes up, finding Lala sleeping with him naked. He falls down, wincing from the pain. Seeing Lala naked, he questions why she is sneaking into his bed, especially while being naked. Lala casually says she wanted to sleep with him, and Peek adds that wearing Lala's costume all the time is a hassle. Yuki's sister barges into the room, questioning his extended nap. Startled, she catches sight of Yuki and Lala together, the latter still unclothed, and hurriedly exits, apologizing. Yuki implores her not to misconstrue the situation. Once Lala, now dressed, clarifies that they are engaged, Yuki, bewildered, questions if it was solely her decision. Lala explains that on Earth, engaged couples typically cohabit, interpreting it as the norm. Yuki asserts that while it might be true for others, it doesn't apply in their case. Lala, with a hint of sadness, questions if he dislikes being with her. Yuki reassures her that it's not about that, and Lala happily accepts it, stating it's not a problem. Interrupting the exchange, Peek points out the inconsistency in Yuki's statements. Confused, Yuki queries about who decided on their engagement. Zaston enters, apologizing for the previous incident, expressing surprise at nearly facing a beating from Lala's future fiancé. Yuki requests him to remove his shoes, prompting Zaston to explain the formal engagement procedures from Deviluk, emphasizing that he has officially engaged with Lala. Lala recalls the engagement ceremony, involving Yuki touching her chest and professing love, which Zaston confirms, declaring it as an official engagement ceremony performed at 2043 2 days ago. Speechless, Yuki denies any knowledge of this. Zaston warns him that dismissing it as a misunderstanding and touching the princess's chest would be seen as declaring war on Deviluk, citing the king's warlike tendency. Terrified, Yuki is at a loss. Lala comforts him, assuring him that it's all right, and Zaston elaborates that marrying Lala means becoming the successor to the Deviluk royal family, overseeing all the planets they rule. Overwhelmed, Yuki expresses his incapacity to cope. Despite hoping for amicable relations, Peek interjects, reminding Yuki of his impending lateness for school. The scene shifts to inside the school as Yuki wonders what is going on. Sarayama asks why he looks so down, and Yuki mentions that he has a lot to deal with. Sarayama suggests that Haruna might hate him, but Yuki insists it's on a different level. He realizes he needs to clear up the misunderstanding at least. As Haruna approaches, she completely ignores him, and Sarayama remarks that it looks like she absolutely hates him. Inside the classroom, Yuki, feeling overwhelmed, contemplates the escalating situation. He reflects on the fact that all he did was confess to Haruna, but now, due to Lala's interference, Haruna is avoiding him. Regardless, he understands that he has to talk to her. Everything starts with that. The scene unfolds as Yuki, attempting to approach Haruna, finds himself in a compromising situation with Lala. After tracking Haruna to the locker room, he faces the fury of other students shocked by the presence of a girl in a strange costume. Lala exacerbates the situation by declaring Yuki as her bride and adding that they slept together the previous night. The students become angrier, and Sarayama questions Yuki's intentions. Despite Yuki's attempts to explain, the students charge at him, accusing him of having no right. Lala intervenes, taking Yuki away. As Haruna changes her clothes, she reflects on Yuki's words, wondering about the identity of the mysterious girl. Meanwhile, Yuki, trying to escape the angry students, reaches a dead end. He implores Lala to use one of her crazy items, suggesting the ring that can wrap things. Lala activates the ring, and they vanish, leaving Yuki's clothes behind. In a surprising turn of events, they fall from Lala's closet naked, shocking Yuki. Just as he is trying to comprehend the situation, Haruna appears and, witnessing the unexpected scene, slaps Yuki. The scene transitions to Yuki's home, where Zaston is present with Yuki's sister, Mikan, enjoying tea. Zaston mentions his extended stay, and Yuki contemplates his predicament, feeling cornered. He acknowledges that he cannot let things proceed as they are, especially concerning Haruna. Yuki summons Zaston and discusses the possibility of canceling the engagement. Despite Yuki's insistence, Zaston questions the seriousness of Yuki's decision. Yuki suggests treating it as a hypothetical situation, and reluctantly, Zaston agrees. Yuki realizes that the process of annulling an engagement mirrors getting engaged and ponders the potential consequences, particularly his inability to face Haruna if he ends up married in the following scene. Yuki sighs on his sofa while Lala and Mikan play video games. He reflects on the similarity between annulment and engagement procedures. Contemplating the necessity of touching Lala's chest for the annulment, he questions whether he can go through with it. Considering Haruna's sake and the looming time limit of tomorrow evening at 8:43, Yuki secretly approaches Lala from behind, thinking it's his chance. However, Zaston interrupts the moment, and Yuki falls down crying. The next day, Yuki, startled, turns to see Lala naked, only to realize it's Peak. In frustration, Yuki throws Peak away, and as Lala wakes up, he falls off the bed again. With 1 hour left until the time limit, Yuki decides he must take action. He asks Lala to talk, and they sit by the seaside. Yuki discusses the engagement, and Lala expresses happiness as she was constantly pressured with marriage interviews. Living in a royal family, no one bothered to understand her feelings. Piki defends her, but Lala states that, aside from Piki, Yuki was the only one who listened, believed her, and tried to protect her. As Yuki thanks her, she asks about the topic he wanted to discuss. Before Yuki can broach the subject of canceling their engagement, the bell alarm rings and he faints. The next day, as Yuki heads to school, Zaston and the guards inform him about the celebration for Lala and Yuki's engagement. Yuki dismisses them as annoying neighbors. At school, he reflects on the chaos caused by Lala's arrival, lamenting the lack of peace. Yuki, still concerned about the misunderstanding with Haruna, contemplates his next steps. During school, Yuki notices Lala's absence and decides to take things slow to make Haruna understand. However, the teacher introduces a transfer student, and to Yuki's shock, Lala enters the classroom. While Yuki's inner soul screams for some peace for a while. The scene started at the school rooftop where Yuki angrily asked Lala to explain this, to which she answered that she always wanted to be by his side. As Yuki got exasperated and asked what she was doing, Lala questioned why he was blushing. Yuki dismissed it, focusing on the fact that Lala managed to transfer to the school despite being an alien. Lala explained that the principal allowed her to attend because he found her cute. Yuki conceded there was nothing he could do about it for now, but he emphasized the need for Lala not to cause any problems or reveal her alien identity, as it could lead to trouble. As Peak 2 explained the potential repercussions of revealing Lala's identity, emphasizing the need to keep it a secret. Yuki stressed the importance of Lala not standing out at school, and she agreed. The scene shifted to the arts room where Lala drew Yuki and caused a ruckus, throwing a baseball so fast and having her tail move around abruptly, causing chaos in the changing room. Yuki was attacked as he tried to enter, and his colleagues glared at him. Lala acted romantically towards Yuki, drawing attention and glares from other students on the rooftop. Yuki confronted Lala, questioning her failure to heed his advice about blending in. Lala assured him of her discretion moving forward. The scene shifted to Haruna contemplating Yuki, who approached her. Surprised, Yuki wondered why she chose today to engage him. Haruna apologized for the interruption, but Yuki assured her of his availability, even for a lifetime. Feeling the need to clear up misunderstandings with Haruna before things grew more complex with Lala, Yuki attempted to discuss it. However, the conversation took an unexpected turn when he asked Haruna about Lala, and she praised Lala's loveliness, cheerfulness, and beauty, expressing understanding of why Yuki fell for her. Thunderstruck, Yuki was caught off guard. As Lala intervened, taking Yuki home, Mikan observed Yuki's lifeless demeanor. Overwhelmed, Yuki felt unable to cope, but Mikan suggested a change of scenery to lift his spirits. Lala proposed an Earth tour, and they decided to go on an outing the next day. The scene shifted to Lala enjoying the sights in her unusual costume, drawing suspicious looks from the crowd. Yuki suggested changing her clothes to blend in, but Lala, focused on sightseeing, tried various outfits. Yuki became frustrated, asking if she was serious about it. Lala eventually changed into a beautiful dress, and they continued their outing. They visited a game store where Mikan showed them a claw machine. Yuki successfully grabbed a stuffed toy for Lala, and he was pleased to see her happy. The trio continued to have fun, but Yuki noticed people reacting strangely to Lala's disappearing clothes. Peek said that his energy was running out, and the costumes they used earlier were more draining than he thought. They entered a clothing shop to hide, but the situation became more critical as Lala's clothes were about to evaporate as they barely entered a clothing shop. As Mikan told Yuki to stop, Yuki was grateful that Mikan was with them. He had no idea what to do next as he encountered Haruna. He wondered if she saw everything that just happened. From behind, Lala came and asked about something. When she saw Haruna, Yuki thought it was completely over and fainted. The scene shifted to a cafe where Mikan explained that she and her brother were showing Lala around the city since she had just come back to Japan. Yuki thought that, thanks to Mikan being there, they managed to come up with an excuse. However, that didn't change the fact that he was there, and yesterday, Haruna said they suited each other. He couldn't even look at her anymore. Lala asked what that thing was, and Mikan mentioned it was an aquarium. Lala expressed interest, and Yuki agreed. Mikan invited Haruna, and they decided to go together. At the aquarium, Lala was excited to see various water animals, calling them cute. Yuki apologized to Haruna, saying she was forced into this. Haruna, however, liked places like this. Yuki was glad, and Haruna apologized for getting in the way. Yuki reassured her, saying he was just accompanying his sister and Lala, thinking the more, the merrier. As Mikan went to look for Lala, Yuki felt awkward, thinking it was just the two of them now. He panicked, asking Haruna to go out that way, but Haruna held him. For a brief moment, they paused. The scene shifted as Lala wandered and observed fishes in a tank. She realized they seemed unhappy, took out a gadget, the Devil Soldier secret drug BDLUXE, and spit it into the tank, causing the fish to jump out in panic. Meanwhile, Haruna told Yuki she wanted to tell him something. She mentioned they suited each other because Yuki was kind. She recalled how he took care of flowers in the classroom since middle school, showing his kindness. Yuki realized that the reason she believed in him was that she was watching him. An investigator was shocked to see the panicking fishes and predicted their death, but Lala dismissed it, saying they had water. She activated an elephant gadget, creating a huge wave of water. She decided to swim and undressed, diving into the water. As a shock approached, Haruna told Yuki that she always. Yuki said he, too, always. But they were interrupted by a wave of water. Yuki thought it was his time to confess as he said he had always. He saw Lala naked on a shark, and a huge wave was coming. Yuki advised Haruna to run away, and the entire building got covered with water. As they headed home, Yuki reflected on the near-death experience. Lala said it was so fun, and Mikan asked if everyone was okay. The next day, on their way to school, Lala asked Yuki if he was happy. Yuki thought that not every misunderstanding needed to be cleared up. He had felt something good with Haruna yesterday, and if he could get along with her more, he could do it. As they greeted each other, Yuki tripped on a stone and fell onto Haruna. A perverted moment happened, and Haruna slapped Yuki, leaving him wondering what the hell had just happened. The scene started by a river where Yuki asked Haruna what was wrong. She asked about his relationship with Lala, and he said they were not really in a relationship. Haruna hugged him, expressing that she always wanted to say something, but Yuki woke up and realized that Lala was naked on him. He screamed as Lala explained she just wanted to be beside him. During breakfast, Lala joyfully ate, mentioning it was the first time she had eaten something so warm. Yuki asked if she hadn't eaten something warm before, and Zaston explained that royalty had food tasters, so by the time the food reached the table, it was usually cold. They discussed the challenges of being royalty. As they headed to school, nearby students gossiped about Yuki and Lala living together. Yuki wished it wasn't happening. In the classroom, students inquired about Lala being born overseas and freeloading off Yuki. Lala casually mentioned they were getting married, surprising everyone. On the rooftop, Yuki was tired and questioned what he should do. As Zaston approached him, discussing the possibility of Yuki becoming the king of Deviluk due to his engagement to Lala, Zaston mentioned the responsibilities, including capturing territories during interdimensional wars, which terrified Yuki. Zaston suggested starting combat training, but Yuki protested, feeling unfit for invasions. In the classroom, Yuki daydreamed about the endless space battles and combat training, realizing it was impossible for him. The scene shifted to Yuki's home, where he expressed exhaustion. Lala found Hanakawa-sensei interesting, But Yuki was unresponsive. Mikan suggested sukiyaki for dinner since Lala enjoyed hot food. Yuki was angered when Zestan joined them. At the dinner table, Lala was excited, while Yuki struggled with the strange jelly-like dish Lala made. He barely ate and fainted down, having a nightmare about the Bridge of Death. As he woke up, Lala asked him not to eat it. Yuki woke up, still traumatized by the jelly-like dish, and questioned Lala's cooking skills. Lala admitted it was her first time cooking. Yuki thought that this was the only way to avoid that fate as he asked Lala that he wouldn't marry someone who was not good at cooking. Mikan and Zestan were angry, saying, "How does he say that the royal palace shall cook for her?" And Yuki said that he wanted to eat delicious food made by the girl he loves. If it didn't taste good, if she's not good at cooking, then go back to Deviluk. The three of them were shocked as Lala went out and flew away, and they pursued her. Mikan asked Yuki what he was trying to do. The scene shifted again as Yuki was having a bath, pondering over Lala's faces as she ran away, thinking that this was for the best. The next day, as he slept and woke up, he thought that this was peace but found the absence of Lala. At the breakfast table, Mikan asked where Lala was. Yuki said that she was still gone, to which Mikan asked what he was trying to do and what if Lala didn't come back. Yuki said that it was fine if she goes back to her home. Mikan departed, saying that he's an idiot. As Sakurayama came from behind and asked if he's not with Lala today. Haruna also asked for Lala. Yuki excused, saying that she's just there. In school, Yuki thought that this was for the best but worried that he was too disrespectful. If he hadn't said it like that, he would be fighting interstellar battles as the king of Deviluk, but that can't have been their farewell. The teacher mentioned Lala's absence, but she suddenly appeared, beckoning Yuki and declaring the preparations complete. Haruna excused herself to search for him. Lala presented a machine, claiming it would emit spirited sounds. Yuki acknowledged the need for positivity. Lala explained her efforts to gather ingredients for it, leaving Yuki embarrassed at her efforts for him. She transformed into an apron, embarrassing Yuki further. Activating the machine, she retrieved an item. Meanwhile, as Haruna searched, Yuki pondered Lala's occasional normalcy despite her extraordinary nature. Haruna entered the class, where Lala announced she was cooking for Yuki, per his wish for homemade food from the girl he loves. Yuki attempted to quiet Lala, but she insisted on giving her best when he talks like that. Haruna grasped the situation, prompting Yuki's futile attempts to clarify. Amidst the confusion, Haruna sought the truth, and Yuki regretted frightening her. As Lala expressed happiness over Yuki's love declaration, Haruna questioned the container's contents, leading to the emergence of an unexpected octopus. Yuki panicked, fearing a flaw in Lala's invention. While Haruna fainted as the octopus attempted to seize her, Yuki intervened but was overpowered, ending up as a hostage alongside Haruna and Lala. The scene shifted as the octopus took hostages, and chaos ensued with other strange monsters. In the chaos, Yuki and the others found themselves entangled with bizarre monsters from different galaxies. The octopus, lobster, and other creatures created a chaotic scene, causing panic. Haruna, still recovering from the initial shock, watched the spectacle unfold. Yuki, determined to protect his friends, attempted to confront the monsters, but their strange abilities and Lala's unconventional choices made the situation more challenging. Zestan, showing his loyalty to Deviluk's princess, joined the battle, trying to fend off the creatures threatening the school. As Haruna woke up and saw the octopuses, she freaked out again. Zestan mastered up his strength and said that he would scare them out. From behind, a crab-like thing pulled him out and threw him away. Lala said that it's the Great Mazarin giant blobster. The container was unfreezing them all by itself, and the three monsters bickered with each other. Yuki said that there were more than them, and Lala mentioned that she wanted to eat a lot, so she brought more of them. One of the strange monsters came out of the container, and all these antics happened as Zestan tried to attack the lobster, but was shoved away. A strange fish came out of the container, and the octopus tentacles crashed through the roof, and as Zestan tried to fight the lobster but was easily thrown away. Yuki was chased by the big monster fish, thinking that this was worse than interstellar wars. The scene started at the school where an expensive car stopped by, and a red carpet was thrown for her. The two girls welcomed the girl as Saki, and she greeted them in turn. As she walked through the carpet, the students gossiped that she was the #1 rich girl in the school, and her name was Tenjuin Saki. Saki said that it seemed her beauty fascinated everyone even this early in the morning. Lala and Yuki dashed past them. The surrounding students gossiped that there was a new transfer student who was really cute, and Saki asked who that was. One of them said it was the transfer student Lala, who had recently been a topic of discussion among the freshmen. As Saki said that she seemed popular, but she was the #1. In the classroom alley, as Saki walked by and saw Yuki giving lunch, Yuki thanked Lala for the intervention, explaining that he had dropped his lunch somewhere. He asked who the person was that chased him. Lala showed that it was the BWW doggy con. Zastan was worried that something might happen to her, so she made a portable war dog that detects suspicious people. Yuki got embarrassed, saying she was the one getting bitten as her clothes got bitten off. The surrounding people were mesmerized by this scene. Yuki screamed to do something about her clothes, and Saki got angered, saying that she was pretty good. In the PE class, Saki is trying to fascinate others, but the students are overly attracted to Lala and her costume. This greatly angers Saki. In the library, Lala is on the stairs and has a pervert incident with Yuki. This creates a ruckus in the library as students are attracted to her. Saki angrily asks what is with that girl and if she is trying to provoke her. One of them says that after investigating, it seems her popularity isn't only among the freshman boys but all male students within the school. Saki says that now it has come to this, she will have to deal with it. Two girls approach Yuki's classroom, declaring a message from the second-year student Saki. They throw an arrow, shooting Yuki. Yuki asks what that was about and what is with that arrow message. It looks like it is being sent to Lala. The gossip among the students is that the second-year Saki wants to have a showdown with the first-year transfer student using the Miss Seinen High School High competition. Maybe they will have something like a swimsuit competition. During the confrontation, everything unfolded smoothly. The girl confirmed delivering the challenge letter directly to Lala. Saki expressed her eagerness for a prompt showdown, confident that she would prove herself as the true top contender. She flaunted her swimsuit, captivating the attention of all the boys. The setting changed as Lala informed Zastan about being targeted and fired an arrow, which Zastan misunderstood as a potential assassination attempt at the school. Lala reassured him, mentioning the presence of Yuki and Doggy for protection. Despite Zastan's inquiry about the threatening message, it was revealed that Doggy had torn it down. This torn message became the first clue for identifying the culprit. The scene shifted again as Saki, frustrated, questioned the girl about the delay. The girl suggested that the girl might have realized her inability to win and backed out, an act of desertion in the face of the enemy. Saki agreed, speculating whether fear of her own beauty prompted the girl to withdraw. Saki dismissed the students' comments about wanting to see Lala in a swimsuit, expressing dissatisfaction and pondering on a better strategy to lure them out. The girl proposed using the rumor of Lala having a fiancé in the same class. The focus then turned to Yuki searching for Lala, with Sakurayama inquiring about people looking for her on campus. Saki loudly declared her ultimatum regarding the top spot, challenging the girl on a stage set up with a crane machine. Yuki, lifted into the air by the crane, was declared Saki's hostage. The embarrassing situation angered the students. Sakurayama questioned Yuki about his feelings for Lala, while Saki threatened to steal him if Lala didn't appear within 5 seconds. Before the countdown ended, Zastan intervened, crashing into Saki while running from Doggy. An enraged Saki accused Lala of making a fool out of her, leading to Doggy tearing apart Saki's and the principal's clothes. Saki vowed revenge and fled the scene. The setting then shifted to the roadside, where Lala and Yuki discussed the attention drawn by Zastan's costume during the chaos. Anyway, they must think of countermeasures to protect Lala. Yuki told Lala that they needed to keep it down at school, otherwise everyone was going to find out. Behind a spy introduced herself as Aya and said she overheard in a conversation that Lala was hiding an important secret. Saki asked for more information and suggested continuing to tail them. Saki thinks they should go and meet up with Aya, as she will be the one to expose Lala's secret. She believes that for embarrassing her like that, she will definitely have her revenge and Lala will taste hell. She laughs it off as her security says she's just disturbing other customers. The scene moves to Yuki's house during dinner. After eating, in the garden, Saki and her friends secretly spy on them, planning to reveal Lala's secrets. As they get closer, they accidentally trigger a light, and some arrows fly by because of the wind. Saki goes through a red light, and bullets shoot at them. Bikin and Lala are having a good time in the bath, unaware of the chaos outside. Trying to run away, Saki's friends leave her dealing with annoying tentacles, and she falls into a pit. Saki suddenly appears in Yuki's room, wondering how things went wrong. She doesn't care, happy that their secret mission worked. Now, it's time to uncover Lala's secret. As Lala comes in, Saki hides, thinking about flaws in Lala or if she's really a boy. When Saki is about to take a picture, she accidentally presses a button, and the entire room disappears just as Yuki comes in. Mikan thinks the room flew away, and Saki is scared, unsure if it's a prank or a dream. Lala suggests stopping it for now, and Saki asks how. Lala explains it's an escape pod, and Saki wonders how to stop it. In a surprising twist, Zastan arrives on his spaceship to save Lala. As they go up, Saki tells Lala to do something. Lala presses a button, launching missiles at the spaceships. Zastan avoids them, but as he lands, Lala speeds up the escape pod. Saki is sucked out, and despite Lala's attempt to save her, Saki falls from the sky. Saki sees Lala coming toward her with wings, and Lala barely holds her hand. Saki gets fainted as they land. When Saki wakes up, she initially thinks she is dreaming, but as she realizes she is naked, her clothes are being torn by Lala's dog. Lala is uncertain about where Saki dropped. The scene starts in a spaceship where the soldiers tell Zaston that an unidentified object is heading towards Earth. Zaston responds that it's already appeared and this was expected. He suggests that it would be simple if he helped, and this is another trial for Yuki to face. They decide to keep watch and observe Yuki's ability, wishing him luck. As the scene shifts into the school, the ship crashes into the school, and the alien from it rushes towards the toilet after having a meal. He tries to find Lala, smelling down the school and finding her nearby. He sees through the window that a number of students are in the classroom. Lala asks Yuki what is a dissection, for which Yuki explains they are going to open the frog's stomach to find out more about frogs. Lala expresses her interest in learning more about Yuki rather than frogs, suggesting she wants to dissect Yuki. Yuki happily asks what she is talking about. The alien recognizes Lala, confirming it's her without a doubt. Floating in a place like this, Yuki tries to run away, and Sakurayama comes in between, joking that if she's okay, he will be happy if she dissects him. The alien thinks that Yuki is Lala's fiancé and feels jealous. Meanwhile, Haruna is teased by her friend, and the alien observes that Lala's fiancé seems interested in another girl. The alien, now dressed in a well-made costume, is approached by the headmaster of the school, who compliments the costume. The alien transforms into its headmaster's form, greatly scaring the headmaster, who faints. The alien drags him out. In the classroom, the alien approaches them, saying Sakurayama that he is calling Haruna. The alien says she has something to do, instructs them to bring their lunch, and come with him according to the headmaster's orders. And orders Sakurayama to tell Yuki that he and Haruna are at the gym equipment room. In the gym equipment room, the alien takes Haruna as a hostage and is in the clutches of the alien. Lala is running towards Yuki for her dissection. Yuki, exhausted, declares it's lunchtime, but Lala finds dissecting more entertaining than eating. Departing, Yuki instructs Sakurayama to be Lala's specimen until his return. Sakurayama questions her intentions and relays the headmaster's message about Haruno being in the gym equipment room. Running towards Haruno, Yuki hears her scream. An alien takes Haruno hostage, and Yuki, shocked, demands an explanation. The headmaster transforms into Jibiri, revealing his plan to marry Lala and become the devil's successor. The alien assures Yuki it won't be him as he approaches. The scene shifts as Lala spends time with Sakurayama and notices Yuki taking too long in the toilet. Puzzled, she activates a tracking device, speculating on his delay. Sakurayama suggests Yuki might be using lies if chased, but Lala disagrees. Using a tracking dog, she follows it into a room only to find the wrong girl. In another scene, the alien urges Yuki to cancel his engagement with Lala. Impatient, Yuki decides to make the decision himself. The alien, mocking Yuki's impatience, embarrassingly tears off Haruno's clothes, insisting Yuki should end his engagement. The alien claims it will worsen. Yuki, angered by the hostage situation, expresses disdain, while the alien asserts that Lala will marry him out of love. Yuki questions if Lala and Haruna are nothing but tools to the alien, to which the alien laughs and claims that Yuki is misunderstanding. Yuki yells at the alien, calling him the worst. Suddenly, Lala appears from behind, hugging Yuki. She questions the alien about his intentions, and the alien, finding joy in her angry face, claims that she belongs to him. Lala teases the alien, saying that she has told him many times that she hates him. The alien transforms into a scary stance, issuing a warning and demanding that Lala marry him. Yuki, angered, threatens to kick the alien's ass if he doesn't leave Haro. The alien gets serious, and as Yuki attempts to punch him, the alien stops him, revealing his real form as Balakin. Lala explains that they are aliens with excellent imitation abilities but are physically weak. Yuki realizes it was all a bluff, and the alien was genuinely scared. From behind, another Balakin appears, and Jiburi gets scared. As Lala asks if she is her wife and why was he talking about marriage, she says that not only a wife but children as well, as many of his children came to him. She says that this idiot husband used his imitation abilities and went to other planets, imitated the most handsome million and triggered women into having children with him. She explains that everyone is coming, and all the other children arrive, making Jiburi run away. As she says this, the idiot husband and all the other children come, which shocks Yuki. Lala activates a gadget, a wrap device, saying that every alien gets sucked in around and gets wrapped off Earth. As Yuki is shocked by seeing this, he looks towards Haruno and seeing her in a state. He gets embarrassed and says that he's going to leave now and please take care of the rest. Lala says that it was weird as he was the one who saved her too. The scene shifts to the spaceship, where Zaston is having a bath and admiring the beauty of Earth. The wrap device wraps up all the aliens, including the children, and sends them away in a tornado of water. In the infirmary, Haruna wakes up and sees Lala, questioning why she is there. Lala explains that Haruno collapsed from anemia in the gym and Yuki saved her. As Yuki walks through the classroom, he feels like he has forgotten something important: to rescue the headmaster and Sakurayama, who is naked on the rooftop. The scene starts with Yuki running, saying that Lala is just flying at times like this and he's going to be late if she doesn't hurry. He sees a girl wearing a uniform and tells her that if she doesn't hurry, she will be late. The girl says that she will be okay. The scene shifts to Seinen High School. The teacher announces a new transfer student, and the boy is introduced. The boy who comes in is introduced as Ren Elsie Julia. Ren tries to flex, and all the girls are impressed. He romantically hangs onto Lala, saying that he was waiting for her and knew it when he first laid his eyes on her. Even if she slips into a crowd, her beauty cannot be hidden. Sakurayama asks what he means by the bride, for which Ren asks if he is Yukirito. Yuki gets angry, and Ren mistakes him for someone like Sarayama. Ren says that he will reclaim Lala from him, and the surrounding girls call it the appearance of a love rival, like a daytime drama. Lala stands up and asks who Ren is, dumbfounding him. He says that this won't be easy, but he won't lose because he's a man. Sakurayama asks Yuki how Lala and he know each other, for which Ren gives them a photo. Lala recognizes herself when she was little, and Yuki asks about the other person wearing the girl's clothes. Lala says that she knows him, he's the crybaby Ren. As Ren says, back then, he truly was a pitiful thing, forced to wear girls' clothes and used for experiments. He was with her every day, subjected to Lala's experiments, despite crying every day. Those were wonderful memories. Yuki asks if those were the memorable moments, and Ren says that those thrilling days continued until one day Lala promised her that if he became more manly, she would marry him. Lala adds that he was usually used for experiments, and Ren says that he proved himself and made Lala understand. The teachers ask if they can start the lesson. The scene shifts, and Ren comes before Yuki, destroying a book with his bare hands. Ren appears on the playground, showing off in front of Yuki, who is outcasted. Ren and Lala are having quality time, but it is interrupted by Ren, who claims that he's a man. Lala says she's not sure, and even though he has developed in a manly way, she isn't thinking of it. Yuki gets disturbed, thinking that Lala's childhood friend, another annoying guy, has arrived. If they really get together, they will be returning to space, and he sighs out, remembering Haruna. He is approached by Ren, who says he has to talk to him. The scene shifts to the rooftop as Ren is pondering about what he is supposed to do. Ren says that isn't his secret to manliness hidden within him and tells him that, as Yuki says, don't you think he has been wrong from the start? As competing with him, he doesn't think that shows manliness at all, and he's free to do whatever he wants and not bother the people around him. Ren is confused, realizing that if that's the case, then what is he supposed to do? The scene shifts as in the school then, as Ren asks Haruna if she can tell the name of someone she finds manly, for which Haruna says that she is not sure about it, but she would say someone who is nice to everyone. As the other girls also gave their suggestions, weird suggestions, and as Lala is walking down the stairs, she is approached by a weird Ren. Lala says that she would say instead of being more manly, he had become more interesting, which shocks him. As Ren is walking, he is pondering about what he is supposed to do, and as he sees a poster about being a man, he watches a movie. He asks about being a man and watches a movie after being inspired. He starts intense exercises to become more manly, and a reporter asks him about his popularity on the internet and in magazines. Yuki asks Lala if she can just say that she's manly before it gets any bigger, but Lala says it's just okay. As Ren hears that Lala will be coming, he misunderstands it, thinking that she would recognize him. He thinks it's too early, as he hasn't made any extreme efforts of manliness yet. He tells his subordinates to tell Lala that he cannot meet her and can't have her recognize him through half-hearted efforts. Once he had truly mastered every manly skill, that's when he decided to go and meet Lala. His subordinates praised him for his determination. In order to become the best man in the universe, his long and endless challenge began. At one point, he had to fight the leader of the West Japan Alliance, and the fight was so grand that it couldn't be screened. While Lala and Mikan were having fun in the bath, Ren was undergoing intense training in the snow-covered mountains in midwinter. He faced off against a Bigfoot and increased his willpower, strength, and manly spirit over 3 years. Training down in his room, he saw something and fell down. Realizing that he couldn't end it just like that, he had to go to her before she came out. At night, Ren approached the ring and initiated a boxing competition with a boxer, easily defeating him with his judgment skills. Now, Ren, having overcome all his challenges, attempted to compete in a 120 kilometers race. Faced with many accidents, he worried that he wouldn't finish, but everyone reassured him that the goal was in sight. The long and painful road would now be rewarded. Ren introduced Lala as his spiritual support, and as she entered, he reached the finishing line. Everyone waited for her words, and Lala declared that Ren had become, just as a housefly landed on his nose, causing him to sneeze. It turned out that Ren was a girl with the name Renelisi Julia, a Memorzyan. Memorzyan's had the ability to change their gender, and when that happened, both their sex and body completely changed according to the gender. In other words, Ren had a unique genetic makeup that caused him to become a girl when he sneezed. Lala couldn't believe she couldn't tell that a girl was manly. The scene unfolds at the school where Lala waits for Yuki, who is unusually late. She speculates that he might have locked himself in the bathroom and uses an gadget. Haruna enters and greets Lala. Suddenly, due to a magnetic force, Yuki is pulled into the room with his pants still zipped. Haruna screams, and to slap him. As a girl comes close to Yuji, identified as Ren, hugs him. Ren expresses missing Yuki and refers to a past kiss between them, attempting to kiss him again. Yuki tries to evade it. Saki appears and challenges Lala, declaring her intention to properly compete for Yuki. She warns Lala of making Yuki her slave if she doesn't step back, attempting to seduce Yuki. Saki is interrupted by another girl who suggests maintaining control as it's still early in the morning. The newcomer reveals herself as Kitayui, the Morals Committee officer, expressing that she has been tolerating their actions but can no longer overlook their behavior as it greatly disturbs the school's moral order. If there is no improvement in their conduct, Kitayui declares she will take measures on her own, emphasizing that individuals, regardless of class distinctions, are accountable for their actions. Amidst this, Ren and Saki attempt to gain Yuki's attention. Kitayui directs them to pay attention, but Ren's attempt to kiss Yuki results in a sneeze, transforming into a man. Lala compliments Ren's appearance, causing embarrassment. In an effort to divert attention, Lala undresses, further complicating the situation. Meanwhile, Yui falls amidst the confusion. In the classroom, Yui believes that Yuki is the primary cause of everything, and surrounding him are sexual lust, disgrace, impure relationships, and forbidden love, every possible immoral thing. This belief is fooling a large number of female students, causing them to become twisted and undoubtedly stray away from public moral standards. Yui thinks that it has always been the boys who are good for nothing, sending shivers down Yuki's spine as she walks down the alley. Yui is determined to protect the school's moral order from Yuki's demonic hands. In advising the committee, Yui warns that if this continues, the school's image will fall into ruin, and this is an attempt to revive the rules and bring back the sounds of school life. Please vote for the approval of the bill for the new public moral law. The time has come to aim for order and stability. As she hands out the moral code, a rigorous security check is conducted. The rules state that one may not have indecent relationships with the opposite sex. They are vigilant for clothing unfitting for students, and anything unrelated to their studies will result in suspension. Henceforth, everyone must adhere to these regulations. When asked what stay close means, the student wonders if it refers to students being well behaved. She questions how many years ago girls used to wear such clothes. Lala observes that everyone seems pretty down. In response, they explain that the clothes and inspections on everything are driving them crazy. Suddenly, these things become annoying. A girl mentions that short skirts make it easy, prompting Lala to tell everyone to leave it to her. Lala takes out an all-purpose tool and creates a badge, encouraging everyone to try it. Yui enters, asking not to bring up unrelated matters. Lala requests the badge back, and Yui advises against casually addressing her by her first name and bringing in something like this. As she activates the badge, and Yui's clothes completely change into shorter, Lala explains that using a badge can shorten their uniform. A girl prays, uncertain of how it works, but notes that overseas science is progressing fast. Yui gets embarrassed and is attracted by one of the badges, pulling her down. Yuki moves toward Yui but stumbles upon her, resulting in a perverted incident. Yui slaps Yuki. In the isolation room, Yuki faces a 2-week suspension and a ban on talking to girls, leaving Yui in despair. Lala expresses concern for Yuki, and even Haruna worries about him. Yui, however, feels that Yuki is getting what he deserves and is pleased that the principal understood. The punishment shocks the classroom, with students surprised at the severity. Lala finds the punishment dull, while Sakurayama sees it as an opportunity to get closer to her. Yuki, feeling things have worsened for him, observes students attempting to flirt with Lala, making him jealous. Yui believes that Yuki's punishment has restored school morals. Saki, entering in a swimsuit, asks Lala to settle things for everyone. Lala puts a badge on Haruno, causing Rin to fall into a bucket of water and transform. Nearby students are captivated by the spectacle. Yui questions if Yuki was truly the cause of everything. Wearing a board indicating he can't talk to girls, Yuki moves through the classroom while Yui follows, pondering his strange feelings toward Lala being pampered by others. Yui observes Yuki's depression, feeling responsible. In the classroom, Lala wonders where Yuki went, and Sakurayama reveals he already went home, seeming depressed. Lala hatches a plan, shocking those around. Yuki decides to go see a movie, with Yui following. During a romantic film, Yuki sheds tears, impressing Yui, but to her surprise, he is thinking of Haruno. Outside, Yuki helps an old lady and engages in acts of kindness in society. Yui watches, and a lost little girl appears. Yuki tries to find her mother, and Yui offers to help locate the child's parent. In a cafe, Lala clarifies that the gathering is not a party but a cheer-up event for Yuki. She dislikes seeing him depressed and wants to lift his spirits. Despite the ban on talking to girls outside school, Lala insists they can't leave him alone and need to do their best to raise his spirits. Haruno agrees, and everyone acknowledges the power of Lala. Saki asks if they should call Yuki, and she takes out a magnet to attract him. Yuki has found the child's parents, and Yui feels a tingling sensation in her chest seeing Yuki. They move on the road, and Yui asks Yuki if she misunderstood him. She thought he was disorderly, immoral, disgraceful, and flirty, but in truth, he is pure and honest. She thinks he might be genuinely kind. This greatly embarrasses Yuki, and she approaches him, apologizing. She explains she asked the principal to punish him by not allowing him to talk to girls, but now understands and will speak to the principal to have his punishment lifted. She takes out the board with her as he is attracted by Lala gadget he is, running towards Lala while carrying Yui with him. They reach a restaurant, and he falls upon it, having a perverted incident with Yui. Lala asks if he has befriended her. The next day at school, Lala and Yuki greet Yui as they stumble upon each other. Lala has a perverted incident with Yuki, making him embarrassed. He questions what's happening as he sees through Yui, who screams that immoral relationships will not be forgiven. Yuki is made to wear a board saying beast. The scene started in a forest as a mutter fell down near a shag, and a girl came out, seeing a person coming out of the flames. She wanted him to stop as the man looked around and asked if this was Japan, to which the girl said that if he was going looking for Japan, it was way over that way. He had crashed in the wrong place. The man appeared before her and said that she was beautiful as he kissed her on the forehead. She got flattered, and the man moved away. The girl asked who was that as Yuki and Lala walked down the alley. Yuki was sneezing again and again. Lala asked what the matter was, to which he said that he had no idea. As a man approached them swiftly, Yuki inquired about the urgency, and Lala explained that they needed to leave. The man landed on a warship, and the officers instructed them to move. Faced with nearby soldiers firing at him, he swiftly evaded the shots. Inside the school, Yuki, sneezing once again, suspected a fever and contemplated visiting the infirmary. Observing the teacher's absence, he opted to remain in class. Lala insisted he stay put, asserting he was unwell. Yuki, objecting to the teacher's absence, questioned Lala's intentions. In response, Lala instructed Peek to change his costume, transforming into a doctor's attire. She declared the need for an examination and urged Yuki to lie on the bed. During this playful exchange, the teacher entered, humorously suggesting they were playing doctor. Yuki clarified his slight fever, and Lala explained she took his temperature in the teacher's absence. The teacher, with a playful remark about measuring temperature using the forehead, was agreed upon by Lala. Shifting scenes to the classroom, Lala expressed relief that Yuki's fever had subsided. Sakurayama inquired about the infirmary, highlighting the allure of the school nurse, Mikito-sensei, who remained an enigma. In the infirmary, Mikado tended to the headmaster's injured finger. The headmaster, hinting at romantic intentions, acknowledged Mikado's popularity but was easily rebuffed. As the mysterious man landed on the moon and launched towards Earth again, Yuki experienced another sneeze. Lala questioned the cause, considering Yuki's routine remained unchanged. The man landed nearby, prompting Elle to dismiss it as an ordinary meteor, insisting they depart. The man implored them to halt, addressing Lala with familiarity. Lala, unaware of his identity, questioned who he was. The man expressed surprise at being forgotten, and Yuki noted it would be challenging to forget him. Lala inquired if he was Rocket-kun from Carrara, corrected to Pickery, who apologized, explaining the similar clothing style among Carrara inhabitants. He inquired about Lala's engagement, expressing disbelief. Lala, angered, questioned Yuki's apparent unattractiveness. Pickery defended the magnificence of his crystal rocket suit, emphasizing Earth's perceived technological inferiority. Yuki, skeptical of Pickery's intentions, questioned Lala's course of action. Lala, familiar with Pickery's sudden disappearances, suggested they go home, but Pickery descended from the sky, determined to save Yuki from himself. Lala pushed Yuki down, who fell in the sea. Lala asked Pickery what he was trying to do, and Pickery questioned what Lala was trying to achieve by getting engaged to someone like Yuki. He insisted that he was the perfect match for her. Lala said they were definitely not engaged with Pickery, but Peek raised doubts, asking if she's sure he didn't almost make an engagement with him too. Lala reassured Pai that it's not the case and told Pickery not to worry. Pickery had taken Lala, claiming that she was just unsure of herself, bidding farewell to this world as they returned to his planet with the rocket. As he launched off, Lala damaged the Pickery suits, causing damage to his suit. He realized the control system wasn't responding, and his suit went berserk in the sky. Lala was trying to find Yuki in the chaos. Pickery accidentally crashed down in the forest at night. He was walking down the road, having a hard time with his suit as he moved down the alley. He thought that this thing wasn't working and remembered his family, wondering what he should do. He recalled his mother asking where he was going, and he answered that he would meet Lala and propose to her. His mother questioned if Earth was an uncivilized planet, to which Pickery assured it's all right as long as he had his rocket suit. His father advised him not to do anything he couldn't handle and to come home if anything happened, emphasizing that this was his home world and country. Pickery bid them farewell. As he met Ren and others, Ren asked if he was Kararin. Pickery asked if Ren recognized him, noting that it must mean he was not an Earthling. Ren introduced himself as a Memorzian who happened to be in the area. Pickery bowed and asked for Raketium to repair his suit. Ren, unfortunately, didn't have any at the moment. A man passing by offered to help find some, and Pickery felt relieved. Meanwhile, in Yuki's home, Yuki was feeling sick. Lala asked if he was feeling better, and Yuki explained that he was hit by a huge force and rolled down a hill. Lala teased him about being saved by an angel, but Yuki realized it was a demon with black wings. Lala dismissed it as a mistake. And as Pickery was about to land, Lala came out to service him out again in the sky. Pickery landed in the same forest again, walking down the road and having a hard time. He remembered his family and brothers, recalling their request for him to marry the Princess of Davu. They assured him they could handle any trouble and asked him to come home if needed. Pickery encountered Zastan, who told him he seemed injured and gave directions to a basement. Pickery found a hospital, surprised by its presence. He entered and encountered Mikado, who offered to help repair his damaged suit. Pickery was delighted and relieved, feeling saved. The next day, Yuki was still not feeling better, and Lala suggested going to the infirmary. They found Mikado wasn't there yet. Lala wore a nurse costume and asked Yuki to lie on the bed to check his temperature. Pickery appeared, proposing to Lala to come with him. He unleashed the rum beam, causing Lala to faint. Pickery slashed Raketium on Yuki and took Lala with him, bidding farewell to Yuki. Yuki questioned Pickery's intentions, but Mikado appeared and easily defeated him, revealing that she knew Lala's true identity and deported Pickery and the rocket to launch off. Mikado explained her job was to give medical treatment to all kinds of aliens living on Earth, and Yuki asked if she was an alien too. As the rocket crashed down on Pickery's planet, he declared he was home. His father welcomed him, saying that this was his country. As Yuki saw Haruno changing into clothes, he apologized for coming back to get something, explaining that he left something but found her here. He insisted that he didn't come to peep on purpose. Haruno took off her clothes, hugged Yuki, and told him it was embarrassing to be seen like this, blaming him. Yuki apologized, and Haruno suggested he take responsibility, asking him to kiss her. As they approached each other, Yuki noticed he was kissing his pillow and woke up, realizing he was dreaming. He saw Lala in his room and fell down. The scene shifted to the park, where Yuki reflected on the daily stimulation he experienced every morning. He noticed Zastan and an old lady beside him, realizing both were aliens. Wondering where they were going, Yuki followed them, thinking they might be heading to their house. The granny alien offered Zastan a gift, but he declined, stating it was unnecessary. The alien insisted, saying it was from the most popular ID in the universe. Yuki wondered what the alien might need at Lala's house and overheard a conversation about the state of Lala's living conditions. In Yuki's home, Lala asked where Yuki was, and Makin replied that he'd be back sooner or later. They heard a sound, and Lala assumed Yuki may have returned. Makin informed them that Lala had a guest, and an alien arrived, expressing nostalgia about a bag that brought back memories. The alien revealed herself as the chairman of Lala's fan club and explained her role in organizing fan meetings and supporting Lala. Yuki came in, questioning who she was, and Lala suggested having breakfast together. The alien introduced herself as the chairman of Lala's fan club and fan meeting support meetings. Makin wondered why she was there, and the alien revealed that she controlled fan activities and protected Lala from various fans. She disclosed that Stella, once one of Lala's greatest fans, was now the chairman due to an incident where she tried to stop someone. Stella admitted her love for Lala then and now, and Lala explained that Stella was an alien who was her biggest fan. As Stella said that it's the best time for her idol debut and she has to depart with her, for which Lala said that she doesn't want to go as she is on Earth with her fiancé, which greatly shocks Stella as she solidifies. As Mikan said that she is solidified, and Lala informs that she is an alien who solidifies when shocked but will turn back eventually. They decide to have breakfast together, while Yuki watched TV. As Lala was bathing, Yuki was watching a unique cartoon. Suddenly, Stella got normal to jump on Yuki, questioning how he became Lala's fiancé without her permission. Stella represented the fan club, and she noticed Yuki screaming without anything holding his neck. Yuki shouted at Lala to put on some clothes, and as Lala left, Stella warned that Lala wouldn't be happy if she did. Yuki assured the alien that as long as she understood, but she claimed Yuki really pissed her off and attempted to choke him again. Lala returned, and the alien tried to act innocent. Yuki again asked Lala to wear clothes, and Stella insisted she would have to take responsibility. The scene shifted to the market, where Yuki questioned Stella's request to help him look for cute girls. Stella explained that, besides managing Lala's fan club, she also worked in public entertainment production, managing various Universal celebrities. She came to pick up Lala for her debut, blaming Yuki for the expenses and insisting he take responsibility. Yuki remembered dreaming about this scenario and thought it had become a stinky situation. Stella urged Yuki to introduce her to some people, but Yuki questioned if people would believe they were going to be Universal celebrities. Stella suggested looking for talent, but they faced rejection as girls were considered too mature or problematic. Yuki suggested using a stone dummy, and Stella decided to search for talent on remote planets. Stella smelled a golden egg and ran towards an apartment building, recognizing it as Haruna's home. Yuki tried to stop Stella from bothering Haruna, who slapped him to go away. Stella tried to catch Haruna using a crane, but Yuki intervened to save her. Haruna slapped Yuki again and ran away. Stella considered taking Haruna's family into outer space, but Yuki suggested a better way. The scene shifted to Yuki's home, where Lala suggested asking Haruna for help. Mikan said Haruna was busy with class representative and club activities. Yuki suggested gathering interested people and holding an audition. Stella refused to spend money, and Yuki called her a cheap stick, teasing her. Stella suggested doing a brother and sister show, imagining reaching the top of the Milky Way and buying properties. However, Stella's phone rang, and her subordinate informed her of trouble with tax evasion, prompting her to launch off from Earth towards the planet. Lala proposed forming a celebrity group with classmates, and Yuki wondered about the broken roof. The scene starts with a girl descending from the sky, and a sparrow lands on her. She remarks, "What a peaceful planet." The scene shifts to Yuki's home, where Zaston and Lala greet each other. Zaston gives Lala the monthly allowance, delighting her. He advises her not to waste it, while Mikan questions why they bother. Mikan serves them tea as Zaston asks about Yuki. Mikan mentions Yuki is out shopping, and Lala expresses her intention to join him. Zaston warns her not to waste money again, and Lala insists it's different this time. Mikan asks who will go. The scene shifts to the mall, where Yuki meets Haruna. They decide to shop together, and after finishing, they hear Haruno's friends approaching. Haruno invites Yuki to join them, but he declines, citing more shopping. Haruno bids him farewell. Back home, Lala and Zaston play rock, paper, scissors with their bodies. Mikan suggests both of them go shopping. Yuki continues shopping, thinking he has everything. He stops at a takoyaki dish, where he encounters a strange girl. Yuki offers her takoyaki, and they discuss Earth's food. The girl reveals she's been watching Yuki and unsheathes her sword, attempting to attack him. Yuki runs and dodges, realizing she's an assassin. Zaston intervenes, introducing himself as part of the Deviluk Earth dispatch team. The assassin, named Golden Darkness, says she was hired to eliminate Yuki. They engage in a battle. Lala arrives, questioning Yuki, who explains the situation. Mikado advises not to get involved, but Yuki insists on stopping the assassin. Zaston fights cleverly but falls into a gutter. Golden Darkness targets Yuki, and Lala eagerly volunteers to be her opponent. Yuki clarifies the misunderstanding and agrees to fight if necessary. The assassin warns Lala that she's not good at being gentle. They prepare to face off, attacking each other. Yuki and Lala accidentally enter a women's bath, causing a commotion. As Lala takes it easy, mentioning that she can change her body at will, Yuki interrupts, saying it's not the time to be impressed. Lala proceeds to take out a gadget named Launcher and aims it at the assassin. However, the assassin easily evades, and the bullet hits Yuki from behind. The assassin remarks that such attacks will never hit her. Lala suggests using the catch weapon, distracting the assassin with the perverted headmaster. However, the assassin cuts down the toy and questions why Lala protects Yuki, stating that he is a threat planning to take over Deviluk. Lala defends Yuki, claiming he is not a villain. Yuki enters the scene, expressing frustration that these things always happen to him. The assassin acknowledges that Yuki might be different, but once a request is made, she follows through. She introduces herself as Golden Darkness. Lala argues that it's not right, but the assassin explains that she follows through on requests regardless of personal feeling. Lala tries to understand the harshness and loneliness Golden Darkness has experienced. Yuki notices her dark eyes, and Lala agrees that there's much she doesn't know. Suddenly, a spaceship approaches, and an alien named Lekospo appears. Yuki asks who he is, and Lekospo, angered, orders Golden Darkness to kill him, claiming Yuki got between him and Lala. Lala questions if he hired the assassin. and Lacospo confesses his intentions to marry her. Lala refuses, calling him the worst for hiring an assassin to kill Yuki. Golden Darkness also expresses dissatisfaction with the inaccurate information provided. Enraged, Lacospo unleashes a giant toad from his spaceship. Lala identifies it as an Irogahime, a natural enemy. Lacospo orders the toad to attack Golden Darkness, and its mucus evaporates her clothes. Lala intervenes to protect her, leading to a confrontation. Lacospo insists Golden Darkness strip down, but she refuses. Yuki steps in, punching Lacospo and causing a scuffle. Lala punches Lacospo out of the galaxy, declaring him an outrageous guy flaunting money around. Golden Darkness acknowledges Lala's strength. Lala explains that she protected Golden Darkness because Lacospo was at fault, and she can't forgive anyone who does cruel things to cute girls like her. Yami, embarrassed, mentions it's the first time someone has ever said something like that to her. Yuki questions why he's been calling her Yami, and Lala clarifies that her name is Golden Darkness. Yuki admits he doesn't know her real name, but Yami dismisses the importance of names, stating she's not interested. Yuki mentions that Lacospo is gone now, and Yami should stop targeting him and return to space. Yami considers it but explains that once she has taken a job, her rules forbid her from running away. She informs Yuki that she'll stay on Earth until she has gotten rid of him. Lala suggests they should get along from now on. Meanwhile, Zaston is seen in the distance, completely drenched in gutter water. The school festival begins, and Yuki comments to Lala that he's looking good, attributing it to the sports festival. Yuki imagines winning the first place, but in reality, he accidentally lifts Haruno's skirt, resulting in a kick. The athletes gather, and Saki takes the athlete's oath, declaring herself the #1 beauty. She challenges Lala in a battle of beauty and youth. The headmaster leads warm-up exercises, but his strange routines lead students to throw things at him. The boys' scavenger race starts, and Sakurayama predicts the winner will be MOTEMITSU, the baseball club's ace. Ren decides to compete to win Lala from Yuki, leading to a duel. MOTEMITSU grabs a slip indicating a true lover's heart and approaches Lala, but she rejects him. Yuki draws a slip requiring him to run towards Haruno with freshly removed bloomers only girls. Lala provides a gadget to find the person, forcing Yuki to run towards Haruno, causing a perverted incident. Haruno slaps Yuki, and Mikado-sensei tends to him. Saki announces the girls' race, and an argument ensues. Sakurama introduces love as an obstacle, and Yui falls, symbolizing the obstacle of parents. Saki faces a policeman obstacle related to her father's criminal past. Lala's obstacle is getting involved with a person with no money. Saki gets disqualified, but Lala overcomes her obstacle, winning the race. The next event is the mixed relay, with the headmaster replacing Mikado-sensei. Saki plans to showcase her skills but realizes Lala is not participating. Yuki, handing the baton to Haruno, feels uneasy. Athlete Kokawa extends her lead but discovers Ren is the next runner, who went to get the legendary sword for the scavenger race. Yuki can't believe Ren's decision, as Saki thinks that the win will be theirs and Kokawa wonders what they should do. Sakurayama announces that it seems the red team has suddenly lost its place. Ren comes in, saying that he will run until the end and announces that he even brought the legendary sword from Severe in the world. He takes out the baton to run, moves in a flash, and Yuki cheers him on, but he has a problem slowing down. He barely stops, and it crashes down to the ground of the school. The school is split into two parts. Haruno comes in to rescue him, but Yuki accidentally touches her chest, and Haruno gives him a slap. The mixed relay is cancelled due to the ground splitting apart, and they have to wait until the chivalry fight starts. The headmaster says that he personally feels that bras should be more transparent as the students are taken to stretchers. Two girls come in and ask Yuki why he is so depressed, to which Yuki says that he is going on a journey. One of the girls says that more importantly, Tanaka, who was supposed to be in the chivalry battle, has been injured and has to join Karno's team, greatly surprising Yuki. The mixed chivalry fight is about to happen, and Yuki thinks that this is really awkward as he bet that Haruno is really mad at him. Sakurayama asks if they aren't jealous of the boys who can participate in this event, to which the headmaster says that he would like to punch them. A strange noise interrupts them, and Ren asks, "What is this sound coming from?" Built by the Tenjian group, it's a pool that quickly fills with water. Saki says that their last battle will be validated in the special pool, and Sakurayama asks if they can do that. The headmaster says that swimsuits are the best, and the rule has been approved. As the fight is about to begin, the sports festival is all about swimsuits and direct contact with Haruno's skin. Yuki can't help but be embarrassed as Haruno says, "Let's do our best." The signal is being made as Ren with Lala is riding with each other, and they say that they should be careful since Lala is on top so everything will be fine. Saki comes in to activate a machine that zips through all the girls. It is announced that they are using some kind of flying tool. It is dirty, but they are thankful for it. The headmaster says that he personally thinks this is the scene to behold, as this brilliant creation by the Tenjuin group is a special swimsuit cutting fan for the defense agency. The swimsuit cutters are solely meant to cut swimsuits, and after their swimsuits have been cut, they will have to cover their bodies with both hands, leaving them helpless. Ren sneezes and changes into a girl, and Lala is completely naked, but Piki changed her costume. Saki says that in that case, she will have to make more fans come at her as all the students have their swimsuits cut. Saki's subordinate says that if any more than this happens, they will be in trouble. Saki says that she doesn't care as she wants to win. The flying tools are flying out of the stadium, and Yuki says that at this rate, they will be able to survive until the end. The cutter cuts through Haruna's swimsuit, and she faints away. Yuki pulls her up and runs through the pool. Lala is distracted by it as Saki tries to snatch her cap, but a flying tool instead cuts her swimsuit. Lala takes her hat, and the water chivalry fight has been won by the lovely Lala on the red team. Saki can't believe it as Saki says that it's not over as the Tenjuin group's trump card Big Ball has yet to be unveiled. In the infirmary, Haruna wakes up, and Yuki is glad that she woke up. She fainted during the middle of the chivalry battle. Haruna asks if he carried her, to which Yuki thinks that he couldn't ask for a better chance than this. Yuki says that today he's sorry again and again, for which Haruna says that she doesn't have to worry. Yuki hears a big noise outside as he is thrown apart by the wave. He is about to fall on Haruna as he falls upon her, and they both get embarrassed while Lala waves at them, saying that she won the chivalry fight. The scene begins as a group of spaceships enters space and shoots down a number of missiles on a planet. A massive battle between the Titans and the spaceships takes place, where the spaceships struggle against the Titan. One of the Titans emits light, and a person appears. Another Titan questions if he intends to take them alone, to which the person identifies himself as a member of the Camerengo warrior tribe. The individual reveals himself as Gid Lucian, the supreme ruler of the universe. The Titan is incredulous, and as light emanates through the planet, it propels into space. The scene transitions to the school, where Yuki reflects on his thoughts, yearning for the days to continue as they are. He encounters Haruna, and their conversation is interrupted by Saki and others. Lala enters, creating chaos by disrobing everyone. Yuki wakes up next to a naked Lala and requests her to put on clothes. At the breakfast table, Mikado and Zaston await them. Yuki questions Zaston's presence, and Zaston humorously clarifies that he's not just there for the rice. Mikan playfully embarrasses Zaston, taking rice from his cheek and eating it. Yuki asks about Zaston's purpose, leading them to the garden. Zaston discloses the truth. He was on the spaceship and received an urgent transmission from the Deviluke King. On the hotline, the king inquires about Earth's situation, and Zaston reports no abnormalities. The king shares that the conquest of has concluded earlier Camerengo than expected, prompting him to visit since he hasn't met his daughter's earthly fiancé. Despite Zaston's advice against it, the king insists on evaluating Yuki personally, emphasizing the importance of secrecy for testing Yuki as Lala's future husband. Yuki agrees, and as the scene shifts, Lala displays affection towards Yuki on their way to school. Yuki contemplates Lala's father, imagining various scenarios and feeling scared. When Lala asks about his concern, Yuki dismisses it as nothing. They meet Haruna, and Yuki thinks she's cute as ever. The scene shifts to the classroom as Yuki reflects on the recent changes and chaos since Lala showed up. He decides to put his heart into living morally. The scene shifts again as Saki enters to confront Lala and make her take responsibility for her actions. Saki declares she will be taking Yuki away from Lala. Yuki asks what it's about, and Saki insists that resistance is futile. Yui intervenes, stating they can't break the school laws. Saki's accomplice ties Yui with the Achihi-style knot. Another girl points out the mistaken target, and Yuki tries to unlock the knots, but they tighten significantly. In the midst of this incident, Saki reveals her ruthless nature, expressing a willingness to sacrifice others to survive. Yuki asks her to untie the knots, and Yui pleads for him to hurry. Yuki wonders why the knots are so tight. It seems like you're describing a narrative involving Saki, Yuki, and Yui, where they find themselves in a challenging situation involving knots. Saki mentions the ancient Achihi knot style that tightens the more one struggles. A girl enters, realizing a mistaken target. Yuki attempts to unlock the knots, but they tighten. Saki, in the midst of this incident, mentions a willingness to sacrifice someone for survival. Due to their behavior, she decides to let them go. Yuki asks Saki to untie the knots and questions their presence. Yui urges Yuki to hurry, tears flowing, while Yuki wonders about the tightness of the knots. In the chaos, the nearby students are astonished. Lala intervenes, claiming she has something for situations like this. A Caesar gadget quickly cuts off all of the girl's clothes, leading to another perverted incident. Yuki attempts to cover her, but the girl insists he let go, though Yuki fears everyone will see her naked. Haruno enters from behind, offering the girl a jacket, and she asks if it's okay. Kogawa feels relief, and onlookers observe the scene. As Yuki contemplates the trouble, he is suddenly attacked. Everything goes pitch black, and he finds himself in a skirt. Panicking, he pleads with the person in front of him, Ren, not to say anything. Golden darkness appears from behind, emphasizing the importance of vigilance and warning Yuki not to forget that she's after him. As Yuki questions why she's at the school, she replies that Yuki is her target, and the school is an ideal place for her mission. Yuki is embarrassed as Ren points out that her panties are showing, greatly embarrassing golden darkness. She punches Yuki down, telling him not to get killed by anyone but her. Bidding farewell, Yuki finds himself questioning why he always ends up in peculiar situations, while the enigmatic woman continues to observe the unfolding events. The scene shifts to the garden, where Yuki assists Haruno. Haruno apologizes for accompanying him, but Yuki reassures her and feels fortunate to be alone with her. Reflecting on the day's chaos since Lala's arrival and the resulting trouble for Haruno, Yuki expresses his gratitude for the time spent with her. During a heartfelt confession to Haruno in the garden, an unexpected announcement disrupts the moment, calling for Yuki Rito's class to gather on the rooftop. Confused about the purpose of the meeting, Yuki arrives to find Mikado and a mysterious woman, creating an awkward atmosphere. The woman, attempting to seduce Yuki with photos, collapses in her failed endeavor. Concerned, Yuki checks on her well-being, only to be interrupted by a nearby child. The child questions Yuki's priorities and, assuming the child is lost, Yuki inquires about their presence in school. The child, keenly observing Yuki's apparent distress, offers comments that Yuki hesitates to receive from such a young individual. As the child continues speaking, Yuki notices a tail resembling Lala's, leading him to ask if the child is Lala's little brother. In a surprising revelation, the child identifies himself as Gid Lucian, the king of Deviluk. Shocked by this revelation, Yuki tries to explain that his actions were not intentional. The king, frustrated with Yuki's perceived worthlessness and indecision, issues a threatening ultimatum, grabbing him by the collar. Expressing concern about the potential harm to Lala and Earth's destruction, the king warns against causing any harm. Lala intervenes, and Yuki faints. Upon regaining consciousness, Yuki realizes the king's doubts about his worthiness for Lala and the ultimatum to become the #1 man in the universe. The scene shifts to Yuki's home, where Zaston and Mikan discuss the Devil King's actions, revealing that Yuki has secluded himself in his room since returning home. Despite the immense pressure on the fate of the world, Zaston suggests giving Yuki some time. Mikan acknowledges Lala's concern for Yuki. In the bedroom, Yuki expresses his concerns and contemplates becoming the #1 in the universe and has an idea. As Yuki enters the room and apologizes to Lala for making her worry, he promises to try his best to become the best person he can be, seeking support from Zaston and Mikan. Lala admires Yuki's resolve and hugs him, greatly embarrassing Yuki.